Here we go again. Hi everyone, my name is Nick and you are watching Marshlands, and in this video you're gonna see how to prepare, paint and also get ready for your local competition. So for this video I decided to paint the new model from Age of Sigmar, the Fate Master. So last year I painted this Stormcast Eternal. It took almost a month to finish this, but unfortunately this time around I only got a couple of weeks in my disposal. Before we start painting, it's very important to prepare the model. We carefully cut off all the parts from the spruce and also scrape all the mold lines that are visible to us. This is a very important step that many people skip and will also deduct points from your model during the judging process. So after priming our model black, the first thing we are gonna do is paint our armor. We are using Evil Red, Dark Sea Blue, Turquoise, Aquamarine and Ice Yellow. For the base coat we add 2 parts of Dark Sea Blue, 1 part of Evil Red and half part of Turquoise, and cover the whole surface of the armor. For the next few steps we are gonna keep adding small parts of turquoise until we reach pure turquoise. Next, we are gonna add half part of aquamarine, focusing more and more at the center of the light reflections. After reaching pure aquamarine though, we add small parts of ice yellow for the final highlights. Now, for the inside of the cloak, we are using dark sea blue, sky blue, ivory and white. First we make a mix of 2 to 1 to 1 of dark sea blue, sky blue and ivory and cover the inside of the cape. Then proceed by adding 1 more part of sky blue and ivory to our previous mix, covering where the light falls. After that we just keep adding ivory until we reach pure ivory, and if we want a higher contrast in the end, we can add a few parts of white. Next up is the skin. We use dark flesh tone, barbarian skin and elf skin. For the base we use a 2 to 1 dark flesh tone with a barbarian skin, but for the deeper shadows I decided to use a few parts of Evil Red. For the top part, we are gonna keep adding small parts of barbarian skin until we reach pure barbarian skin. Then we will start highlighting by adding elf skin until we reach pure elf skin. Now for the outside part of the cloak. We are using some black, dark grey and ice yellow. The process is as follows. We are using black as our control color, meaning we should not divert too much from it, or else it won't read as black. To do that, we are using 1-to-1 mix of black and dark grey to do our midtones. Then we proceed by adding one more part of dark grey and start picking the main light reflections. Then we carefully add small parts of ice yellow, but this time it's very important we don't reach pure ice yellow. This way we keep our cloak mainly black. A small break from the tutorial. I have to point out that I have been absent for a month now from painting in general, but I was really struggling with an illness, but I did the best I could, and my main focus was not to win the competition, but more like to show you the process and make this video for you. So just want you to know that, and I hope some people to appreciate my efforts, I guess. So let's go back to the video. Now for the gold parts. I am using dark rust, parasite brown, gold yellow, ice yellow and sun yellow. We do a 2-to-1 mix of our rust brown and parasite brown and cover all the golden surfaces. And then we start doing the midtones by adding gold yellow to our previous mix until we reach pure gold yellow. To highlight, we use ice yellow to the mix and pick up the edges and the center of our light reflections. Then we glaze a few thin coats of sun yellow over the parts we just painted to make it look more gold, and then just with ice yellow we do our final highlights. As you can see, I wanted to be more yellowish, I guess, so I did the last two steps one more time. For the bones, I use some desert yellow, dark rust, black grey and ivory. The way I painted the horns was to apply desert yellow to the whole surface and then proceed by adding parts of dark rust and ending up by adding black grey to the point of the horns. After that, we just highlight the edges with a mix of desert yellow and ivory. That's a simple but a really effective way to paint horns. So next is the silver part. A basic recipe is dark sea blue, black grey, dark sea grey and some ice yellow. We start covering with dark sea blue and small parts of black grey to our blade, and after that I started by adding bit by bit of our dark sea grey. Then we turn to our references and locate the strongest highlights. We paint them by adding half part of ice yellow until we reach pure ice yellow. For his staff, I decided to paint the same way I did with his armor. This way we avoid too much of a visual noise. The only thing that's left is the peacock on his back. I downloaded some references and I decided to the following colors. I used dark Prussian blue, dark blue, emerald, bile green and ice yellow. To explain my logic, I decided to paint the whole model with dark Prussian blue, and then for the first half I used dark blue for the midtones and highlighted with ice yellow, but for the rest I used emerald and bile green, again with small parts of ice yellow for the finish. The base I painted it the night before the competition, so unfortunately I didn't have much time to record it fully, but the colors I used was dark sea blue, some refractive green, and finally some pastel green. I really pushed myself with this one, but in the end I really like the final result. The competition on the other end was fierce, and everyone presented some really amazing miniatures. It's always interesting attending a small competition because it's a source of inspiration and it will also help you out with future projects. So I didn't win first place, unfortunately. The guy who won over me was very talented. I am very happy with the result. I'm gonna take it to other competitions, surely. I hope you learned from this video tutorial and have like a mindset of how to go through to your next painting for a competition piece. That's it for me for today. I'm gonna rest for now because the whole thing was very taxing for my health, not gonna lie. I was even planning not to go to the winning ceremony. Some people wanted me to go with them, so I kinda mastered the remaining strength that I had and went. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for my next video that's gonna come, I hope, pretty soon this time. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Have a nice one.